we want to look at something that we call contingency planning. And this is how to get ready for the rainy day, because the rainy day comes. This can be described as a future event or circumstance which is possible but cannot be predicted with certainty. Something that can happen, that can adversely affect you, but you cannot predict it with certainty. Here we're looking at things like job loss, we're looking at sickness, accidents, we're looking at business closure, we're looking at pandemics. All those are what we call contingencies. They can happen. You cannot be certain when they happen, but normally they have consequences because either they will result in loss of income or reduced income, or sometimes financial emergencies, something that requires immediate financial attention. How are we going to have it done? How are we going to fund this? Now, the first thing we must agree is that we make it our financial goal, make it important that we will have a family safety net. The second step is we will need to work out how much do we need. Make it equivalent to your 3 months income. And the third step, we want to consider for how long you want to take up this step. Is it possible for you to put an equal amount every month for that period? That's why you're saying, okay, I need 300,000 and I think I'll take in 30 months. So it's 10,000 shillings per month and I'll be there. Obviously, if you do not have that kind of regular income, or even if you have that regular income, you don't think you have the money. Why don't we start somewhere? Aim to put 10% of your current net income. And so the mantra for us achieving this, because we've seen it's important, we aim big, we start small, we start now. Where do I keep this money? Surely, wherever I keep it, I will go back to it. Let's think about it. 3 things to think about where to keep this money. Number 1 is safety. Number 2 is availability. Emergencies don't give notice, so the money must be easily available. And number 3, consideration is growth. This money is going to be with you for a long period of time. So it is obviously going to suffer effects of inflation and maybe investment charges or bank charges. So let's start by looking at safety. Now, obviously, don't put this money where it's going to be a risky situation. So don't risk the money. Don't go to the stock market and buy shares. Don't buy goats or cows with this money. They can actually get a sickness and they die. So we must keep it safe from yourself. Don't put it in a mattress. Consider yourself temporarily the enemy here. Consider yourself the risk. So when you're thinking about it, think about its safety. Don't put where it is not going to be available when you need it, because we're seeing the situations when you need it. When there's an emergency, you do not want to find out the money is not there. When you're out of income, you do not want to see the money is not there. So safety is very, very important. Availability is also very, very important. Emergencies don't give 30 days notice. They don't say when they are coming. The car doesn't tell you when it's going to stall. And that means a portion of that money must be liquid wherever it is. Must be money you can cash within 12 hours. So the first portion of your fund, 40% of your fund, must be kept somewhere where you can have access for it within 12 hours. The balance, 60%, must be somewhere you can acquire, you can be able to encash it within 72 hours. Now, the third thing we have talked about is growth. Now, you're going to have this fund for many years, for sure. And so inflation and bank charges will wear it out, for sure. Because if it is in the bank, whether it's in the money market fund, there will be some administration fee. There will be some inflation. And that's why a portion of that money must actually be put where there's an investment return. It can be a moderate return, but it must be able to counter inflation and the charges that you do. So when you borrow from the fund, whether you are addressing an emergency or what are you addressing, when you're done, you make a refund. So where do you keep it? 3 nice places to keep it. The first portion of your money needs to stay in a savings account, either in a bank, a microfinance institution, or a FOSA, front office savings account in a SACCO. A place where you can access on your ATM card. Now, the second portion, which can be like the money for month 2, month 3, month 4, can either be kept in a fixed deposit account in the bank, because if need be, you can break that fixed deposit, and breaking that fixed deposit in 2-3 days, you will have your cash. Alternatively, you can have it in a money market fund unit trust. Most money market fund managers, in 2 days, you will be able to get your money. Remember, we said 72 hours, so 2 days is 48, so it's going to be very safe. If you're able to put in 6 months or more for your month 5 or your month 6 amounts, those ones you can actually put in a treasury bill. You will be able to get your money out when you need it for that purpose. So Think about starting in a savings account in the bank, in a microfinance or a FOSA. The next portion, you either put it in a money market fund or in a fixed deposit account. Now, the balance of the money, you can decide where to put it, but remember, somewhere you can get it within 72 hours. When you know that you can actually have a place to rush to, if need be, then you'll get a sense of calm. What we are talking about, your safety net, your emergency fund, is your financial edge. It ensures you don't slide back. If you started a fund for investment, you don't put your hand in that fund. If you already have a business going on and you have an emergency, you don't put your hand into that business. That's why it's a financial edge. Consider it as a family love bank account. And every time you put in money in that account, those are called deposits of care, because you love the people. In an event of an emergency, in an event of being out of employment, you don't want to change their lifestyle. I know there's much more that you'd want to learn, and you can join our community on Facebook, Wealth Seekers Kenya. We share tips every week on how you're going to succeed on such programs as a community. We are the Personal Finance Academy Kenya. We have our website if you want to get to know more about us, pfa.co.ke.